Alright, hi guys, this is Rachel Sangster, and welcome to our third lesson of Latin. Today we're going to be talking about a couple more verbs, and we're basically just going to cover what we learned in the last couple of videos. Alright, so first let's review a little bit. In the last couple of videos we talked about sum in its present indicative form and the 6 different conjugations, which are sum, I am, es, you are, est, he, she, it is, sumus, we are, estis, y'all are, sunt, they are. We have puella and puellae and puer and pueri, and just to remind you, puella is a noun of the first declension. It is a feminine noun. And in its singular form, it has the ending of a, as in puella, but in its plural form, if not the nominative case, it has the ending ae, which is puellae. With puer and pueri, they're second declension nouns, and they're also in the nominative case, of course. As a singular nominative noun, it is puer, but you add an I with a long vowel accent to the end if you want to make it plural, so it becomes pueri. Alright, here's some new vocab. I added in ego, which just means I. We might have seen this before, but I just slapped it back in here now that we're going to use it a little bit more. And here are 2 new verbs. We have ambulare, to walk, and natare, to swim. Now these are verbs in the infinitive form, which means they are not conjugated. In English, an example of this would be if you said, I want to walk. The word want would be conjugated in the I form, and to walk would be in its infinitive form because it's not conjugated to anyone. Here's ambulare, to walk, in its present indicative form. We're going to conjugate it in the 6 different ways. So we have ambulo, I walk, ambulas, you walk, ambulat, he, she, it walks, ambulamus, we walk, ambulant, they walk. Now let's just look at the endings of these words. We have the root of ambul, A-M-B-U-L, and if you cut off anything after that, that's where you exchange the ends. So we have o, as, at, amus, ant. For I walk, you walk, she, it walks, we walk, they walk, etc. Now, the different verbs, generally, they only have 3 different endings, and one of them would be are, so ambulare. Anything that ends with are should conjugate just like this for all of its conjugations with the I, you, he, she, all of them. Unless it's irregular, and we might see some of that. Actually, the verb that sum and es and est and sumus all come from, that's irregular. Because you don't see any kind of root word there. Alright, now we have natare, and like I said, it's going to be conjugated the same way because it ends in are. So we have nato, I swim, natas, you swim, natat, he, she, it swims, natamus, we swim, natant, they swim. Alright, more about the new vocab. Ego is I in Latin, but you might have seen this word in English as ego, and it's just a person's sense of self-esteem. Often you'll hear it as, oh, that person has an ego. You kind of hear it in a negative connotation, but I think we often twist the real definition of the word. Now, ambulare, one of the closest words you can find in English for this that comes from this Latin base is ambulatory. And that's just if I were going to say, oh, I am ambulatory, it just means that I'm able to walk around because I have 2 legs. In natare, I couldn't really find anything in English for this, but if you look in Spanish, for all my Spanish friends out there, we have nadar in Spanish, which is conjugated very similarly to how natare is conjugated, because if you remember, natare becomes nato in the I form, while nadar is nado in the I form. Really, they're very, very similar, except that there's a T and a D that need to be switched to make it Spanish. Alright, here's some examples. We have ego nato, I swim, or you can say the same thing by saying just nato. You don't need the ego or the I in there. We have ego ambulo, I walk. Remember, you don't need ego. Ambulamus, we walk. Natat, he, she, it walks. Semus, nautai, et natamus. Whoa, that was a mouthful. Semus, we are. Nautai, the sailors. Et, and. Natamus, we swim. So we are sailors and we swim. Agricolae sunt et ambulant. They are farmers and they walk. Agricolae is farmers, sunt is they are, et is and ambulant is they walk. Alright, a little bit more examples. We have es puer, you are a boy. Puella et pueri, natant et ambulant. Now, I messed up on the puella there. It should have an E at the end, so it can be girls and boys swim and walk. And we have ambulatis et estis pueri. Y'all walk and y'all are boys. Ambulatis is y'all, walk. Et is and. Estis is y'all are. And pueri is boys. Alright, hang in there. This might be getting boring, but we're actually going to be getting more difficult in the next episode. Thank you for watching.